Hi guys, thanks for tuning into Ricky's New Hat. I'm Ricky and in this episode tayo ay magre-review ng different types of paper for Copic markers. Para sa mga sumusubaybay sa channel ko, by now you may know na I use Copic markers for my traditional art. Now, back when I was starting with Copic markers pa lang last year, I made a mistake of using a watercolor paper because I thought pagka alcohol markers or Copic markers, okay na basta makapal yung paper. Pero that is not really the case kung gagamit ka ng Copic markers. It's about the density of the paper actually, no? And the smoothness of the paper para ma-maximize mo yung kung ano ang kayang gawin ng Copic marker sa art mo. Now, I'm going to review different types of papers just so para matulungan yung mga nagsisimula pa lang sa Copic markers or who are looking for alternative papers other than the one they're using right now para mas ma-maximize nila. Magastos ang art, especially if traditional art dahil bili ka ng bili ng mga materials. Now, ito nga, isa sa mga things that you need to spend on when it comes to Copic markers is the paper. Ngayon, the paper will determine how fast you consume your Copic markers. Of course, yung usage mo rin nandun na. Pero kung malakas mag-absorb ng ink yung paper na ginagamit mo, that will be your experience pagdating sa paggamit ng Copic markers. You might find yourself using more ink than usual. So, in this episode, napahaba yung intro ko, no? So, in this episode, mag-review tayo ng a couple of papers kasi sobrang dami nila. Pero I have selected a few papers that I have on stock na pwede kong gamitin for Copic markers. Yung iba nabibili sa bookstores, na, National Bookstore. Yung iba hanapin mo like Fully Booked, Art Bar, yung mga art specialty stores, doon ka makakabili or even online sa Lazada, sa Shopee. Just to give you an idea, ito po yung mga papers na re-reviewin natin ngayon. Now, for this review, isasama ko yung basic bond paper. Pwede ba to or not? One thing to consider about selecting your paper is yung GSM information or grams per square meter. Ngayon, ang ibig sabihin ng GSM, grams per square meter, is if you take 1 square meter of that paper, for example, this is a ordinary bond paper, this is a 70 GSM bond paper, ang 1 square meter nito weighs 70 grams. The higher the grams, ibig sabihin, the thicker should be, or yung density information ng iyong papel. Kung gaano ka-solid yung papel, gaano ka-thick yung papel. Now, magkaiba to because in some cases, the paper or the board seems thick. Pero pag kinumpara mo siya sa ibang papel na hindi kasing kapal niya, pero mas mataas yung GSM ng isang papel na yon, that means mas solid yung papel na yon kesa dun sa isa. Later makikita niyo yung sample kung ano yung sinasabi ko. Now, the vellum board, dalawang klase yung makikita mo sa National Bookstore. The Vico brand and the Orange brand. I think I have the label pa dito. This is the Orange brand na vellum board. Ngayon, ang pinagkaiba ng dalawa, mas maputi yung Vico na vellum board. And this costs 32 pesos for 10 sheets. So, 32 pesos lang. Ngayon, sinama ko na dito ko ano yung merong paper ako on hand. And this is the Daler Rowney Smooth to Heavyweight paper. This is 381 when I bought it. Ang thickness is 220 GSM. So, gaano siya kakapal? By the way, ang sample ng ating vellum board as compared sa bond paper. Ito yung bond paper and then this is the vellum board. So, ganyan siyang kakapal. Itong Daler Rowney na brand, ganito siya kakapal. So, mas makapal yung Daler Rowney. And this is 220 GSM. Let's move to the next type of paper. This is the watercolor paper. Kung makikita nyo, halos magkakasing kapal siya. The watercolor, the vellum board, the Daler Rowney. So, yung vellum na lang pagkumpara natin. Para nga mas makapal pa itsura ng watercolor paper kesa sa vellum board. But the GSM or the weight niya is only 200 GSM. The vellum board is 220 GSM. Ngayon, ang implication nito when you're using it is pagka mas mataas yung GSM mo and mas makapal yung isa na mas mababa yung GSM. Ang ibig sabihin nun, kaya lang makapal to is because there's so much space in between the fibers. So, when there's so much space, maraming susuotan ang ink mo. Kaya mauubos agad ang ink mo when you're using watercolor paper. But nevertheless, we'll still include this in the sampling, no? This is just the Fabriano brand, no? It's 63 pesos, 10 sheets, 200 GSM. You can buy this at National Bookstore. There are watercolor papers na mas makapal pa dito. Now, next is the Bristol board. May Bristol board ka na mabibili sa National Bookstore na kasi laki ng kartolina pero napaka-smooth ng surface niya. Ngayon, ang problema naman, pagka gumamit ka ng masyadong smooth na paper for copying markers, ang mangyayari sa ink mo is, since hindi nagpe-penetrate ng husto yung ink sa paper, no, hindi ina-absorb ng paper dahil may coating siya na smooth, naglalaro lang sa ibabaw yung ink mo. Ang result nun is nagiging muddy yung iyong artwork. Kaya huwag kang gagamit ng sobrang smooth na paper. I bought this, I think, from Art Bar. 345 pesos for 20 sheets. No? Ito yung sample niya. This is 238 GSM. And considering that it's as thick as the others, so doon makikita napakasiksik nitong papel na to, the Bristol board. Now, eto ngayon, yung Copic paper selections which I bought recently for 420 pesos for 20 sheets. Ngayon, ang Copic paper selections, maraming klase yan. No? But these two types of Copic papers, the premium bond paper and the custom paper, are ideal for Copic markers. Because dun sa kanilang website, makikita mo there are papers for watercolor, tapos may mga papers silang manipis, and they're honest enough to tell in the information na magbe-bleed through yung ink pagka ginamit mo yon. So, itong dalawang to, ang description is the paper does not bleed through easily, tsaka coated, smooth and coated. So, yung dalawang yon ideal for Copic markers talaga. So, again, the premium bond paper which is 157 GSM and the custom paper which is 150 GSM. So, mas makapal yung ating premium bond paper. So, these are the samples. No? Hindi siya ganun kakintab. No? It's just a smooth surface but not shiny. Okay, so these are the paper samples that we will be testing our Copic markers on in this episode. Now, for the testing, nagcut ako ng mga strips ng paper. So, inarrange ko siya according to thickness. From bond paper na 70 GSM, Copic custom paper 150, Copic premium bond 157, watercolor 200, vellum 220, Daler Rowney 220, and Bristol 238. So, anong mga test ang gagawin natin? So, layering and bleeding, ibig sabihin, ilang layers ang magagawa mo bago mag-bleed through yung ink sa papel mo, meaning tatago sa kabilang surface. Yung blending, how well it will blend sa surface ito. So, parang it's a test of smoothness and how fast or how slow the ink dries on that paper para ma-blend mo siya. And then, sinama ko na rin kung ano yung effect ng pag gumamit ka ng colorless blender sa ink mo once it's laid down, paano magre-react yung papel doon. I don't know kung significant yun, pero sinama ko na rin. Okay? So, we'll test T3. Ang gagawin natin, maglilay tayo ng isang layer, isa, and then dalawang layer, dalawa. Makikita mo kasi sa layering is kung paano mag-react yung papel mo, ilang layers bago mo mapalabas yung tunay na kulay nito. Because medyo thin yung ink nito, you need to apply it one on top of the other para kang nagwa-watercolor. Kaya lang alcohol ink ang ginagamit mo. So, alin sa kanila ang mabilis makuha yung full vividness ng color ng pen mo. Okay, so let's start with the bond paper. One layer muna tayo. Okay, so mapapansin ninyo, sa bond paper, siya yung pinaka-dark. Okay, pinaka-dark among all the others. Halos magkakaitsura yung ibang papers. So, ito yung pinakamanipis. Ibig sabihin niyan, sobrang nipis niya, na-absorb na agad ng paper yung ink mo. Okay, while the others, there's still space para mag-seep through yung ink mo. So, makikita mo, first layer pa lang, nagbi-bleed through na yung bond paper. And then, for the Copic paper na premium, Okay, medyo kita mo na lahat. The vellum board, you can hardly see it, no? And then the Daler-Rowney, medyo kita na rin. And then the Bristol board. Okay, so this time in succession, gagawa tayo ng 2 layers, 3 layers, 4 layers, 5 layers. Okay. One thing to consider also is yung speed ng stroke mo. Because the slower the speed, mas pinapa-absorb mo yung ink mo sa paper. The faster, doon makikita yung manipis na layer mo. Okay? Okay, so I'm done with the 5 layers samples. So makikita mo sa ordinary bond paper, doon pa lang sa 2 layers papunta na sa 5th layer, halos isang kulay na lang siya. Ibig sabihin na max out mo na yung full color ng iyong pen. And makikita mo sa likod, super nag-bleed through talaga siya. Now, for the copy custom paper, kitang-kita mo yung difference from the first layer to the 5th layer talaga. And hindi siya nag-bleed through, although nasa bingit na, no, pagdating sa 5th layer. The premium bond, ganun din, no, wala naman bleed through, and kaya pa mag-go beyond 5th layer. And then sa watercolor, ang pansin ko lang sa kanya, now, first and foremost, rough yung surface niya. And as I apply it, it takes time for the ink to seep in sa paper. Kaya ang tendency niyan is, sa unang pahid mo, hindi mo agad makikita yung kulay mo. And ang tendency mo ngayon is, magpahid ka na magpahid, kaya nauubos agad yung ink mo. And pag tinignan mo sa kanya, sa likod, there's not much bleeding through. Malalaman nyo pagka-textured yung paper nyo. Hindi comfortable when you're doing your layers. Now, sa vellum board, compared to watercolor and the Copic papers, no, yung vellum board, smooth yung pagkaka-absorb niya ng ink and mas nag-bleed through siya compared sa Copic papers. Pero how it performed, mas solid yung absorption ng vellum board compared to the Copic papers. Sa Copic papers, may makikita ka pang fibers. Sa vellum board, solid yung kulay niya and it holds the layering well. Kaya lang, I don't know if it's may kinalaman yung kulay ng paper kasi hindi siya pure white, no? Hindi kasing dark nito. Siguro if you add another 6 layers, 7 layers, dun lalabas yung full color ng iyong ink. So, ang tendency naman ngayon is papahid ka ng papahid pa. Pero, mas solid siya compared sa watercolor paper. That's all I can say, no? Now, for the Daler-Rowney, ang reaction niya to the ink, para siyang Copic paper. In terms of absorption and bleeding through, almost the same siya with the premium bond. For the Bristol board, like vellum board, solid din ang kanyang appearance when it comes to absorption of the ink. Pagdating naman sa value ng layer mo, mas dark yung first layer kaysa sa vellum board. So, if you're going for lighter colors, mas magagawa mo yun sa vellum board kaysa sa Bristol board. Although, in fairness, okay naman yung light color niya papunta sa dark color. So, those are the differences of these papers, no? Makikita mo talagang tumatagos, no? Kailangan mo sapinan yung bond paper. Tsaka, siya, yung parang nagbi-blip, nag-e-expand yung ink papalabas. Kasi nga, wala na siya mapuntahan sa ilalim. So, it goes sideways ngayon. Kaya mo nagdidikit-dikit na halos yung mga strokes mo. Unlike these, papalalim ang absorption niya. Now, for the blending, we'll go for Y15 and Y11. Ngayon, dito pala sa bond paper, may warning na tayo. Because the first time you apply the ink sa bond paper, ang tagal niyang matuyo. Kasi nga manipis siya nag-i-stay yung ink sa papel for so long, kaya hindi mo agad nakikita yung color ng ink mo. Parang basa pa yung itsura niya. So, ang implication naman ngayon niya is, when you do blending, hindi mo nakikita kung nagbe-blend na maayos dahil basa pa yung papel. I'll show you. the Y15, if you feather mo yung dulo, and then the Y, no, that's the Y11 and this is the Y15. And then apply again. Kailangan mo kasi bumalik do sa unang kulay para ma-blend mo ng husto. Makikita mo, dark pa yung yellow dito. Mamaya, as it dries, makikita mo yung tunay na kulay ng Y11. It should be light yellow eh. Now, for the Copic custom paper, see, ito yung tunay na kulay ng Y11. Y15, go back to Y11. Sa vellum parang parang yung ordinary bond paper, matagal din matuyo. Ang advantage naman ng matagal matuyo nung ink is there's a longer opportunity to blend the colors kaysa yung quick drying na na paper. Okay? So napatayo na natin yung mga ink, and mapapansin ninyo sa ordinary bond paper para siyang merong solid na borders. Napaka-solid niya, no? Because nga nag-e-expand yung ink. Almost the same yung performances ng ibang papers, no? When it comes to blending, magbe-blend naman talaga yung ink mo sa watercolor paper. No doubt about it. Okay? As long as, but just remember when you're going to blend, make sure that the ink is still wet. Now, ang disadvantage lang ng vellum board, because hindi nga siya bright white, mas ma-appreciate mo yung vividness ng color mo pagdating sa Copic custom paper. So remember, the brighter the paper, the more vivid your color will turn out. Now, experience-wise, I think mas madaling mag-blend sa vellum board. Why? Because mas matagal matuyo yung ink sa vellum board compared sa ibang paper. Yun ang observation ko. I don't know if it's because I can see na wet pa yung paper. Kasi considering na 220 GSM to as compared sa Copic custom paper na 150 GSM, you would expect somehow that the Copic custom paper would show an indication that the ink is still wet. I don't know if it's because yung paper is coated. Maybe that's it, no? Kaya hindi mo makikita, just like vellum board and bond paper na hindi coated, hindi mo makikita or hindi mo immediately makikita that the ink is still wet. So, kumbaga, ang advantage ng vellum board is you know when the ink is still wet. No, because it's darker in color. Parang yung nakita nyo sa bond paper. So, yun yung difference nilang dalawa. I like the blending actually on the Copic custom paper. It's very smooth actually. Last test, I don't know how significant this will be, pero colorless blender test, which is kumbaga salingkit na lang dito sa testing natin. I don't know how the papers would react. Baka pare-pareho lang silang reaction sa colorless blender. Let's see. So maglilay ako ng mga around 2 or 3 layers per paper. Okay? Okay, another reason kung bakit hindi ideal ang watercolor paper for markers is because of the texture, madaling masisira ang iyong nib. Although may replacement nib naman, ang Copic markers, of course, hindi rin cheap to. I think it's for the 3-piece set, it's 290 pesos, so almost 100 per piece, no? So we've laid down the gray. Now we'll use the colorless blender, which is 0. Okay, for the colorless blender, we'll apply one stroke, and then another stroke until lumabas yung paper underneath. Okay, so far, we are on our third layer ng ating colorless blender. And as you can see, dito sa bond paper, halos lumalabas na yung color ng paper sa gitna. Sa custom paper ng Copic and the premium bond ng Copic, slightly lumalabas na. You can see the strokes. You can hardly see, no, sa premium bond ng Copic, pero it's there. So lahat sila lumulutang na. Sa vellum board, compared sa bond paper, mas uniform yung pag-fade out ng color sa gitna. Sa Daler-Rowney naman, parang watercolor ang reaction niya sa colorless blender. So let's add more layers. So naka 5 layer tayo ng colorless blender, and you can see labas na yung sa bond paper. Medyo ang success rate ng colorless blender sa bond paper mas mataas as compared sa iba na halos pare-pareho ng reaction sa colorless blender. The watercolor paper, siya yung pinaka, and the Daler Rowney are both not uniform pagdating sa fading ng color. I think the texture, it has to do, kasi may konting texture tong Daler Rowney din. I think that has something to do with the fading of the color. Now, pagdating sa Bristol board, maganda rin yung fading niya, and the vellum board. So, those are the different reactions of the paper doon sa colorless blender. Kung i-compare natin on different categories, itong mga papel na to, for the bleed through, do not use the bond paper, ordinary bond paper. Napakanipis niya and kumakalat yung ink niya. For the blending, of course, for the Copic papers, dahil coated naman siya, and also the vellum board, dahil makinis yung vellum board as compared sa watercolor paper, Daler Rowney. By the way, yung Bristol board, actually sometimes it's called vellum board. When I did a little research a while ago, medyo pareho din sila ng properties actually ng Bristol and vellum board, kasi nasa branding kasi yan eh. So between Bristol board and vellum board, choose vellum board na lang siguro. Mas mahal yung Bristol board. Now, kung isasama na rin natin yung reaction sa colorless blender, the vellum board reacts more actively sa colorless blender. So, if you make mistakes sa yung artwork, mas madaling makorek pagka vellum board ang ginagamit mo. Yun yung significance nung ating colorless blender test. Now, price-wise, ito ngayon yung importante. I did some checking also kung ano nasa price tag ng mga ginamit kong paper ngayon. Kung titingin ka na hard copy paper, yung bond paper na ordinary sa Lazada, the cheapest one I found for one ream, 500 sheets, is 155 pesos. So lumalabas na 31 centavos per sheet. But we all know na hindi ito talaga ideal for Copic markers. And then yung Copic papers, ang bili ko doon is 420 pesos for 20 sheets. Lumalabas na 21 pesos siya per sheet. 21 pesos per sheet. So, if you're going to practice pa lang on Copic markers, wag ka muna mag-Copic paper. And then, if you're going to practice on any paper, I would advise na hatiin mo yung paper na lang. If you're using A4 paper, you can cut it in half para mas maliit yung artwork na ginagawa mo, therefore you're using lesser ink. Yung Bristol naman, wala akong makitang Bainfang sa Lazada. I saw a Canson Bristol board which is 649.75 for 50 sheets. Lumalabas na 12 pesos and 99 centavos per sheet. So mas mura siya kaysa sa Copic paper. Yung Bainfang, based do sa tag price niya, lumalabas na 17.25 per sheet siya. The Fabriano, okay, watercolor paper, siguro i-leave out na natin siya, pero lumalabas na 6 pesos and 30 centavos siya per sheet. Pero again, it's not an ideal paper for Copic markers. Masisira yung nib mo. Yung Daler Rowney, lumalabas na 15 pesos and 24 centavos per sheet. Now, the vellum board, lumalabas na 3 pesos and 20 centavos per sheet. Now, on the overall, if you're doing casual artwork and ganado kang gumawa ng maraming artwork and you don't have that much means to purchase the Copic paper, kasi ideal talaga, lumalabas sa mga test ko, the Copic paper is really ideal for the markers. Why? Because maputi siya and coated yung paper, kahit hindi siya ganun kakapal compared sa vellum board, pero lalabas talaga yung ideal na kulay na gusto mong palabasin. Sa vellum board at yung Bristol board, hindi siya ganun kaputi. So yun lang tatandaan nyo, if you're going to use vellum board, there are some compromises in terms of colors. Kung gusto nyo talagang pang high quality work na, invest niya kayo sa Copic paper. Okay, if you're doing this, sa source of income, nagbebenta ka ng artworks mo, nagdi-display ka, use Copic paper for high quality output. That's what I can say, no? Nag-invest ka na rin lang sa markers, which is very, very expensive. Then I don't see any reason why you can buy Copic paper, no? If ibebenta mo, or if i-display mo yung mga gawa mo. But for casual drawing, dinadagdagan mo yung yung mga collection mo ng mga drawings mo, I'd go for the vellum board because it's cheap, it reacts well with the Copic markers, and it's not that white, pero with some artistry and creativity. At the end of the day, it's a matter of preference and how you create your artwork. So that's it for my paper review for Copic markers. I hope na-enjoy nyo, no? Ako may mga realizations din ako while I was making this video. Kaya it was a good decision for me to create this episode that's focusing on the paper for Copic markers. Now, for all you Copic users out there, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have additional comments or inputs or suggestions, please comment down below. Pero bago lahat, I'd like to greet my daughter Maggie, my second daughter Maggie. She's turning 16, and I'm gonna surprise her with a set of Copic Chow markers. Set of 36 umorder ako para sa kanya. So it will be her first set of Copic markers, so I hope she enjoys using those markers. So till then, I hope to see you in the next episode. Keep on drawing, and maraming salamat po. Bye!